Hello and welcome to EVs and Beyond. I'm Rich Edwards, and today we are looking at yet another option in the small electric SUV market. It's from Omoda, another brand, part of the Chery group out of China, and it's really coming to take on the BYD Atto 3 and the MG ZS EV. So now over here we have the C5, that's their petrol SUV, but what they've unboxed today, we just saw it drive out of this container, is the E5, their new small electric option. So what are the big numbers? It has a 61 kilowatt hour LFP battery. The motor is front drive with 150 kilowatts of power and just over 300 newton meters of torque, giving a 0 to 100 time of just over 7 seconds. The WLTP range is 430 kilometers. It is going to have an 8-year, 160,000 kilometer battery warranty on it. As I said, about the same size as an Atto 3, and yeah, really similar kind of thing in makeup. Now, one of the interesting things here is they say they're going to be really sharp on price. So while this numbers-wise may be a little more head-to-head with the BYD, the pricing could be somewhere closer, they're suggesting, to the ZS. But we don't know yet. Cars are arriving in March, and we hopefully will have a better idea on pricing when we get closer to that time. Now, let's go for a little bit of a walk around. If we look up on the nose here, they've done the usual electric vehicle trick. They've kind of pretty much removed the grille. So we've got this big plastic fascia up here, a little camera down there, obviously. Really slim, light. And the charge port. The charge port's actually there. That pops up. I'll put that on video now. And there is a frunk. Good on you, Omoda. You know me, I love a good frunk. And that kind of makes this the first car in its class to have a frunk. It's not big, but definitely enough for your charging items and maybe a few cold drinks as well, if you really want them. So if we walk around, we've got, and bear in mind, this one might have slightly different spec to the factory ones. We've got 18-inch wheels with Kumo tires on them. Got keyless entry, all the usual stuff. Now, tinted windows are standard on the upper model. There's going to be 2 specification levels on that 61 kilowatt hour battery. That's really important. I've always found Chinese small SUVs don't have great glass UV protection, so that tinting is really important. If I get the camera to come around to the back here with me, we've got the back of the car, obviously EV badging, EV and E5. E5 is the model, so E5 for electric, C5 for petrol. And if we open the boot here, it's a fairly sizable boot. I'll put the litres down on the bottom. Now, an interesting thing back here is if we open this one here has a full-size spare tyre. Now, we're not going to get that on the factory, on the production models when they come through, but it is going to get a space saver. So I think that makes it the only one in class that gets a proper tyre as such for when you get a flat, rather than start relying on a tyre repair kit. So for some people, I think that's going to be quite appealing, having that rather than the repair kit, not having to call the tow truck, and of course, an electric tailgate. Right, let's go have a quick look inside. Right, so into the Omoda, and the seat's not for me. The front seats are electrically adjusted, so we're down there. Now, it's a really interesting interior, and then it kind of has a design that looks and feels a little bit more premium than both the MG and the BYD. It all feels, there's some cheaper plastics here, but lots of leather or synthetic leather coverings. Got these 2 huge big screens up here. It's interesting. It feels a bit closer to, say, a Mercedes-Benz, or looks a bit closer to a Mercedes-Benz than what you'd expect for like this class. Now, obviously, as I said, the materials aren't quite all there, but this really does feel premium. Got nice touch buttons on the steering wheel. We've got nice speaker grills on the doors. This thing isn't running, so we don't know exactly how it all works. Plenty of storage, huge big storage cubby down here, wireless charging with a ventilation for the phone over there. Nice big deep armrest cubby and a sunroof, but it's not a panoramic glass roof, which is kind of more the norm in the class. And actually, I think this is restricting headroom a little bit, which is a little bit annoying, perhaps, and something you might want to take into account when you're checking out this car. Now, safety-wise, the C5 has been built, well, the C5 and the E5 have been built for a 5-star ANCAP rating, but of course they haven't been tested yet. But a full suite of safety equipment, 7 airbags, all the usual ADAS. Of course, we don't know how all that works at the moment, so we'll have to see when the car is launched. And I see there's a driver attention monitor, which is not necessarily my favorite thing in the world. So that's the Omoda E5, just a really quick look. We'll get to drive this really soon, hopefully in about a month's time, but a really interesting third option in the market. and hopefully that'll, you know, create a little bit of competition, maybe some pricing tension between this, the Atto 3, the MG ZS, and probably what other things are going to come into this segment. This segment's always going to be hot. It's a very popular segment in the market, and yeah, great to see another option out there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe down below, and we'll catch you later on EVs and Beyond.